Bonjour and comment allez-vous? Je vais très bien, merci. Hey, how's everybody doing? We hope that you had a great week, but as you already know, we're here to make it better. We're here to make it better. Now, if you like me, man, I'm telling you, this Georgia pollen is kind of eating me up right now, but we're going to be all right. I'm waiting for it to get over and done with, but I think it's kind of just getting started. But anyway, in our usual fashion, what we normally do, we toast up before we get started. All right, so here's to everybody on the live. If you don't know, you're supposed to have your cognac, your tea, your water, your wine, whatever beverage you like, because it kind of helps this groove. We got a kind of vibe going in here, and it helps it a lot. So here's to everybody on the live. Now, last week we had a great discussion. Last week we talked about obsessive compulsive disorder and attention deficit disorder. And I'm telling you, we didn't give it from a clinical perspective, but we had a lot of experience, and a lot of people talked about their personal experiences with those two disorders. And I would recommend that you check it out on my Facebook page. All right? But tonight we've got a doozy for you. This is going to be something that's real. We're going to keep it real and funky for you so that it really hits your heart. It hits you in your soul, okay? So we're talking about generational curse. And what we're trying to figure out, is it real or is it a myth? Or do people say it without really understanding what they're saying? We're going to discuss that. We're going to discover a lot of information that you all probably never thought about, but is real in the world that we live in. So without further ado, let me go ahead and bring my co-host on, because I know they got a lot to say about this. And we welcome your comments. We welcome your comments, okay? So feel free to comment, send your gifts and whatnot. I'm going to try to shout everybody out. But we've been having quite a few people in here recently, so I'll try to catch you as they come in, okay? So let me go ahead and bring my co-host on. Okay. Let me see, am I doing something wrong? Maybe I need to go back up here. Y'all just bear with me. I'm going to get it right in a minute. Well, let me go and try to bring Keith on in here. Hey, what's going on, Keith?
OG, what's going on?
Oh man, I can't complain at all. I'm just trying to battle this doggone pollen, man. This pollen is killing me down here in Georgia, bro.
Wow.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's coming our way soon. Like I said yesterday, we're gonna get it. We're gonna get it in another month, about another month and change. It'll be hitting us the same way.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Well, I think it's going to get thick around here in the next several days, because yesterday was our supposedly the highest pollen count since the season started. So hopefully it don't last long this time, man. Because I'm telling you, it has me like I hibernate like a bear when it's thick out there like that.
That's them pine trees, man. That's that pine pollen. That's that pine trees, man.
Yep, that's just what it is. That's just what it is. Miss O'Neill, you might have to come back out or something, because it's not letting me It's not letting me bring you in for some whatever reason. So go out and come back in. But anyway, Keith, how's everything in Jersey going for you, bro?
Oh, everything is good, Mr. G. Can't believe we hitting April next month, man. Like I said, it's
Yeah.
just these days are flying. Like, like I told you the other day, ever since my dad passed, it seems like every day, every week is like one long run on sentence. It's crazy.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
And then your guy Crump, you know what I mean? Like, yeah,
Oh man,
yeah,
that
man.
was that was hey that threw me for a loop, man, because that was so unexpected. I mean, you never can prepare, but that was so unexpected, brother.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Hey, Miss O'Neill.
Hey, well, the yellow gods in the trees got me, cause baby, it's pollinating.
Oh, the pollen's killing you too, huh? That's what we were
The
just talking
yellow guy,
about out in
yeah,
Georgia.
the yellow guys in the trees. I call them the yellow things in the tree. Them little yellow fairies that float, baby.
Mm.
It's been getting at me.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, it's bad, man. I mean, some people. I mean, they really look like they're tore up, man. Their eyes and their face is swollen, and their
oh yeah, I
navel.
had my mask on today. Y'all hear how I sound? So I had my mask on today. I can't take no heat. I need the air. I'm having one of them.
Damn,
Like
you
I
sound like that from the pollen?
yes,
Oh
That's
wow.
crazy.
Oh
That's
wow.
yes.
crazy.
Yeah,
Damn.
I felt like Darth Vader this morning. I had that Darth Vader voice. I am your father. It was like that.
Hey,
So
hey,
yeah,
hey, your
it's getting
voice
me.
was deep as me and Keith's, huh?
Yeah,
Wow.
man. Yeah, I had questions. I'm like, I am your father. Yeah.
Yes,
Wow.
indeed.
So let me ask you this. Do you have actual allergies or just the
Yeah.
pollen affects you?
No, I have actual allergies as well. But whatever the strand is, the strands are or whatever that's going around, baby, it's activated. You know how they be like Wonder Twins activated, baby. They twins and
Yeah.
they activated. So
Oh.
yeah, it's in and it's on there. And I had my face was swollen, and then if it touched my face, I had a big scratch up here, up here. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's worse.
you sound like it's got a hold of you. I'm telling
Yeah, she sound like it affects you
Yes,
all the way. It affects your cardiovascular, affects your
yes, Lord.
sinuses, your eyes, your face is swollen, you got inflammation on the
Yes, Lord.
skin.
Y'all
Wow.
know, y'all know that
you.
song. Something's got a hold on me, baby. It got me. It got the lunch lady.
Wow.
I got the juice, the tea, the medicines, and everything. It got me.
Man.
All
Mm.
right, but we hope you feel better. It's got me,
Yeah.
but it ain't like that. I still got my natural voice.
Yeah, she sounds sick right now. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
wow. Mm.
yeah,
But we
yeah.
gonna keep it moving. We gonna be a Kim. Keep it moving.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, let's go ahead and get into it. But I really hope people go check out that obsessive compulsive disorder and attention deficit disorder live that we've done, because that a lot of people suffer with that, and a lot of people suffer in silence, and some don't even know it. So you can go to my Facebook page and you can see exactly what the symptoms are, so that you can be more concerning and considerate with these people. All right. Now, let's talk about a generational curse. I mean, man, we've all heard this. It's been very popular in the last couple of years, maybe 5 or 10 years or so. Um, but it's a phrase that people use to describe a pattern of problems that seem to repeat within families across generations. So when they say that when they're talking about a generational curse, it's a phrase that people often use to describe patterns of problems that seem to repeat themselves within families across generations. Things like poverty, addiction, abuse, broken relationships, and even certain health crises. People sometimes attribute certain health issues with it being a generational curse. But we're going to bring some light to all of those things and discover whether or not they're right or wrong. But here's the most important thing. Here's the most important thing that we have to remember. What people mean by generational curse is not about something that's supernatural. When we hear the phrase, it seems like it's a supernatural thing that is outside of our control. It's from the spiritual realm that governs how we behave, and there's nothing that we can do about it, which is untrue. All right? So, what generational curse are is simply a pattern that has been passed down through each generation. They are patterns that have been passed down through each generation. It's more about learned behavior. Generational curse are about learned behavior. For example, how conflict is handled or resolved. When you grow up in a family household where violence or screaming and hollering seems to be the solution, that's a behavior that you learn, and particularly when you're a child. We're going to talk about where it first starts. So when you're children and you see these patterns being exhibited by your parents or your siblings or your schoolmates or whoever, people close to you, you start to learn from that behavior. Not only about conflict and how it's handled, it's also about parenting styles, how people parent their children, and certain beliefs. When we believe we don't succeed in this family, or men in this family don't stay. I mean, I've heard that recently, the men in this family, they're just out there, they're players. They don't stay with no one woman and none of that stuff. So they attribute that to a generational curse because they've seen it over several generations and it's repeated behavior. And even things like financial habits, lack of investing knowledge. So I'm pointing out all these things because these are the different type of events that people attribute generational curse to, and sometimes even health patterns, both genetic and lifestyle related. For example, when you see your parents or your big brother, your big sister, constantly and consistently doing the same thing, let's say that they had a problem with someone. If every time they had a problem with someone, they acted out in a way that was violent, okay, you as a youngster, you're going to learn that behavior. So you're going to adapt to your environment and adapt to that situation. And also, if you aren't well-traveled or have certain other groups in your life, that's all you know. So when someone says, this runs in our family, and I know we all heard that before. I heard it all through my childhood, adolescence, and even as an adult. This runs in our family. This is the way we are. They aren't talking about a generational curse. They're talking about and describing a cycle, not a curse. They're describing a cycle of events and behaviors, not a curse. Now, let me say this. When we start to believe that we're cursed, then it limits our ability and our desire to do something about it. If we believe that we are cursed, it limits our ability and desire to do anything about it. Because if you really think about it, if I think that I'm cursed And I gave the definition and what people attribute the characteristics of a generational curse to. You feel that it's outside of your control because you believe it's a supernatural response to your behavior that guides you and controls you, which you have absolutely no control over. And that is so far from the truth. We're going to talk about it. We're going to break this cycle. We're going to show people you are really cursed. You really don't understand the behavior. And you really haven't made an attempt to do anything about it. All right, you want to say something before I keep on,
All right.
DeJoya?
So let me just say this. I've heard that so many times. Now, where it concerns like different health issues and whatever, that might be so with some things, the genetics, like, those things, yes. But I think the big problem, the reason why people say generational curses is because you're right, they just don't understand. A lot of times the resources are not available. Um, that they need to change their life. Many times that's the problem. They don't have the available resources. They don't have the know-how or the smarts, the knowledge to be able to know what channels to go through or however you want to say it. So I think most times I think that's the big issue. You do have issues where people just don't want to change. They fine with being the bully, the this, the that, and we all experience that. They're fine with being the one that everybody say they can call if Uncle Juju can beat him up and this and that. So, and you're right, it's a learned behavior. But I think the big issue is that in certain communities, certain places, resources are not available. People are not going to make them available because they don't want to change that. You got to keep somebody in poverty to keep certain things in business, the drugs, the this, the that, and people count on those types of things um to bring you down. And even we see this in politics. A lot of people don't understand that, okay, we got, the little orange man, Donald Trump, in office, and yeah, he sound like a big bully. And so he going over there bullying Iran. They all on tack with what he's doing, but it's how you're doing it. So, we just have to be careful with one, wanting the resources, wanting to be better, and things like that, and understanding that you can be better. You don't have to be stuck in the neighborhood or the projects or the this or the that if you don't want to. If you want to, yeah. And they use a lot of these programs when we talk about generational curses, food stamps, section housing. Now they call it something better, housing choice vouchers. It's no longer called Section 8 to make you feel better. But while you're on there and they're paying some of your rent, well, you limited to what you can do. You can't really work much. You can't really do this much. Then they coming back. So I mean, you have to really read between the lines of some of the things that are put in front of you to make or condition you to think that they are helping you, but in reality, they are hindering you. That's the difference in having the knowledge and then having the wisdom to apply. I mean, having wisdom and knowledge to apply what you know. To know better is to know better. If you follow me on Facebook, you see I use that hashtag now. To know better is to know better. So that's just my take on what he said so far. I don't know if y'all agree, but that's how I feel about it.
I mean, it's just a discussion. So, I mean, we're going to have difference of opinion. But it kind of brings me to often think about the people who are in situations, because if you don't know any better, you can't do any better. So a lot of times, for instance, with children, if it's a learned behavior, they don't know any better till they get obeyed. And that's kind of disheartening to me, where you have children that grow up with these bad habits or these bad actors, and they duplicate that behavior. Now, a lot of times when a child sees something, especially at a younger age, because they're so impressionable. Hey, Dina. Hey, Jean. Hey, Jamie. Oh, thanks for the flash also. Yeah, but at a younger age, they're so impressionable. It's easy for them to learn that behavior, and it's much harder for them to break it if they've done it repetitively. So that's the key when we start to try to understand generational curse and bad habits, because that's what they are. They're not, it's no curse, it's just a cute and popular term that everybody uses. So we
And
want to,
you can't become too comfortable. That's the thing. A lot of times people
absolutely.
become comfortable in their life. Or, oh, well, I ain't got to work. I can just go out to the porch or to the whatever and sit and watch the cars go by and talk about Betty Joy and Susie and this and that and the other. So you can never become too comfortable with that. And always know, don't. I hear a lot of people, they're angry at the opportunities that other people have. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
and other people are given and other people are offered. I hear it every day, even in my daily life. Oh, I have to live vicariously through you because I don't do this and I don't do this. No, you don't have to live vicariously through me because you don't do this. You just don't want to. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So you
Absolutely.
have to understand that it's something you have to want. You have to be hungry for it. You got to be thirsty for it. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
you got to keep your table full so you keep eating. You keep gaining what is better and
Knowledge, knowledge, and
yeah, and
information.
what enhances you, and pick up those little jewels and little droplets when people are dropping them for you. If you got a elder or somebody that's trying to tell you something, even a kid teaches me something every day. You know what? Don't be afraid to take that knowledge and go. If you don't think you're missed, a little kid every day tell me every day he see me, I miss you so much, I love you so much, and I be like, he just seen me for breakfast. But guess what? In his life, there's probably nobody that responds to him. And whenever he tell me that, I love you, Ian, I tell him, I love you, I hug you, whatever. So you got to understand that those people that are put in your life within these opportunities and circumstances, sometimes you have to be the giver. You can't always be the taker. We
Yeah,
we
that's
get
true.
to the
That's
point
true.
where we want to just take, and we want everything given to us. You got to
Yeah,
give something in order to get it. So
yeah, but
yeah.
see, I believe that a lot is not understood. Even in adults, sometimes their behavior because they've been in practice so long. Hey, Chronicles. Hey, James and Reggie, what's happening, little bro? But anyway, I believe that they don't even know what they're doing in a lot of times situations they don't even know that they're doing it, and if they know, they consider that behavior normal. All right, but remember what we said when they start talking about generational curse. They aren't talking about a literal curse. They're talking about a cycle. But what we want to know is, even that, are they real or is it a myth?
I kind of feel like it's a look. Sometimes, like I say, if you don't have the resources and you don't have the this and that, yes, and like I say, a lot of times resources are not made available. That is why I feel like it's important for the adults or some figure in the life of children and the life of others to put that out there. I would have never thought about the paymaster's my favorite word, y'all. The paymaster deal with money and money deals. I never forgot that word. Now I got to get that little money chart to count them numbers when they get big. But that's what I'm like. Hey, I want to be that when I grow up. When I met Greg or whatever, that was my thing. I heard one thing, paymaster. That's all I heard. And so ever since in my life, I've changed. I didn't want to get back on camera. I used to do American rap makers years ago, always on TV, out in the public. And when I got older, I didn't want to get back on camera. But he said, "Oh, you getting back on camera?" So you have to have, and not to like dote on him or whatever, because he don't like that. But I'm saying that you have to have somebody in your life that's willing to change your life and willing to be in there with the fight for you. But you still have to want the same thing. A lot of people don't know what they're capable of. You have to have that little push, and so a lot of times we feel that little push and we hear the universe, y'all. When the universe speaks, you should listen. But we don't want to listen because it may seem hard, it may seem unattainable, it may seem like it's not there. Well, it's not put in your life or in your thought process or in your mind if it's not attainable. If you can think it, you can do it. If you can dream it, you can do it. If you can say it, it can be done. So
Amen.
you have to get to the
You
point
said a
where,
mouthful there.
yeah, you have to get to a point where you have to look at yourself in the mirror. If you got to go and look at yourself in the mirror every day and say, today, I'm going to do this that I didn't do yesterday. It takes that. If you in my house, and to know is to know, I got sticky notes everywhere. I got to look at and be like, okay, yesterday I did this. I need to do this today. And it's not necessarily a checklist. Yes, I got that going on. Like we talked about that last week. But for me, it's things that I have to have constant reminders. Pick up those reminders, pick up those breadcrumbs,
Yeah.
throughout your life, and leave them for you, because you may have to go back to them one day. So I just think if people kind of grasp those concepts, then it'll be a big help in their life and improving them. And not only when you improve you improve everything around you. Everything will fall in place. So you got to
Absolutely.
get to that point.
Now, look, you said something that's very, very profound and important. So I'm gonna take a little I'm gonna take a little curve here. I want to talk about not for a long time, just a moment, the difference between praying and manifesting. And the reason I want to bring that up is because she started talking about anything you can dream or you see is in your existence for a reason. And if it's in your existence, that means that it can be achieved. So when people pray, and I think a lot of times, don't nail me to the cross, I'm just talking in general. When people pray, a lot of time it's just repeated behavior. It's a behavior pattern. Some people don't even know how to pray, but when they pray, it's something that is repetitive. So when we start talking about manifestation, and people look at it as some type of voodoo or something that's not real, I'm telling you, think about this. You ever rode down the street, or your mind was on something, and you just happened to go out, or you happened to see it? It could have even been on TV. I thought about ice cream before, just to use a small example. And I go drive and I'll pass the ice cream truck. Or I'll pass right by an ice cream parlor that I didn't even know was there. So if you focus, whatever you focus on, and whatever you give your energy to, and you have to be very, very, very committed to what you give your energy to, because that's what manifestation is all about. When you focus all of your energy, it's just like an atom bomb. If you put all of that energy in the center nucleus of that bomb, it's going to explode. If you take your energy, you can't have it partially here and partially there and expect great things to happen. It's not going to happen. You have to focus all of your energy. And I'm giving y'all these jewels because it's worked for me all my life. When you manifest something, it's something that you really concentrate on. It's something that you desire for goodness and not badness. It's something that you are totally focused on at that moment. You can't focus on two great things at one time. It's impossible. You can't focus on two great things at one time. It is impossible. If you focus on that one central thing and give it all of your attention and believe in your heart, your mind, and your body and your soul that it can be obtained, it will happen. It
Listen.
will happen.
So listen, for me, and like I say, we are not. I'm faith based. I'm spiritual. I'm not. Speaking on that,
Religious.
but speaking that way. So what I feel like when you pray, that's just asking and acknowledging that there is divine intervention. Everything happens by design. Nothing happens by mistake. You have to acknowledge that there's a divine intervention. You have to be able to deal with it when the presence does intervene, and then you have to take whatever intervention and whatever energy or power that feeds into you, and you have to be able to apply it. That's the difference between wisdom and knowledge. I can know it all day, but I got to know how to apply it. So I can know it, but I have to have enough wisdom to be able to apply it. So you cannot sit up here and say, and I know a lot of the older people probably gonna jump on me. Oh Lord, I need $1 million, Lord Jesus. I'm just gonna let you fix it. I'm taking it to the altar. No, you can't take it to the altar and throw it up there and leave it. Let me see, I got a talent. I can make t-shirts. I can do this. I can do that. So then you have to take everything that you know, everything that the universe has poured into you, and be willing to pour it back out in order to get the desired result that you are manifesting, or you are needing, or you are thinking about. Again, and I think people, sorry y'all, but I'm teaching a little bit. I'm more than a lunch lady, but I think people really miss that. Because we were told when we grow up, oh, you gotta pray, go to the altar, take it to the altar and pray and leave it there. No, you gotta take it to the altar. No, you done bothered Jesus and called him on the main line. Now you gotta show him what you really want to do with it. So I think, and that's just the take I see it. You tell how you see it in so many ways, but just so people can understand it in a whole lot of different ways. All of this, the things that fit about the generational curses, it's just puzzle pieces that's out of place. So
Hey,
there
Veronica,
comes
how are
a
you?
point, and a time that we have to be able to put those puzzle pieces together, and those warped puzzle pieces, baby. If you can't fix them or straighten them out, you gotta go back to the drawing board.
Hey,
So
thanks
that's
for the
just,
follow.
huh?
I'm just thanking someone for the follow. They just
Oh
started
yeah.
following.
So yeah, so that's just another take on a little bit of what he's saying.
Yeah, we got over 800 in here, so thank all of y'all. Hey, King J, glad to see you. It's a long time watching rising stars in your life. Thank you, Veronica. Thank you. Listen, um, now here's what may disturb some people. Everybody says, I believe. Everybody says that I'm going to manifest and I guarantee you, they really don't know how it's done. Because the next moment, if anything happens that's negative, that distracts from them, they're all off target. And I know plenty of people who are like that. They're like, hey, Mr. G, I'm serious. I heard what you said. Man, I ain't going to worry about anything. I'm not going to. And let me say this, worrying is a tool of the devil. So if you worry, you're not going to get anything done because you are concentrating on something that's already handled for you. If you truly believe, then you shouldn't worry about anything. And I'm here to tell you, and I mean that wholeheartedly, I mean it literally, that you don't worry about anything that's already handled for you. You say that you believe, you say that you are Christian, or you think you're spiritual, whatever. So God fights your battles. And I'm not going to get into a biblical sermon on this. I just want to point this out. If you say you believe, then why are you worried about something that's outside of your control? It doesn't make any sense. I'm a logical person when it comes to certain things. And not, hey, Cindy, how are you? Hey, Daryl, I'm a logical person. So why would I worry about something? And I am a strong spiritual believer that know that my Creator has promised me anything that I desire if I'm ready for it. Now, before you receive any blessings, there comes the preparation. So you have to be prepared. You may think you're prepared, but as I said on many lines before, you may be okay, but you may have people around you who you don't know their heart condition. And the man upstairs, our grand architect, he knows what they think. He knows what they're planning. He sees what you can't see. So we're not even going to fight that battle. If I don't know what you're thinking, if you're one of those deceitful people and you're trying to plan something, I can't give that any energy. I've got to put my energy on whatever it is I'm trying to accomplish and manifest because I've already been told this is yours and you can have it. All
Well,
you got to do is show me that you really want. How do we show it? We show it by not worrying. You know, if you ain't got a steak today, and here's some people, when you get too comfortable, and the Joanne Keefe will tell you, my favorite word is
that's his favorite word, y'all, and he dragged it comfortable.
you got to get a little uncomfortable for growth, for manifestation, for blessings. You got to become uncomfortable for a minute. That's when you show that you're ready. When you show that I can handle it. If I, as I was saying, I'm used to eating steaks, so money gets a little tight. I can't find a steak, or I can't afford to buy it. So now I'm mad and I'm upset because I want that steak. So guess what the blessing is? If you got
Still eat.
anything, hey, if you've got anything there in there to eat, that's a blessing.
But I think, on that note, and this I've learned, it when we talk about generational curses and things like that, and family issues and all that, you have to appreciate where you are, where you've been, and where you are at that time to get to where you need to be. Not where
Absolutely.
you want to be, but where you need to be. Because so many times we say, oh, we don't want to have to do this anymore. We don't want to have to do that. Nah, well, you may have to do that, whether you want to or not. But you have to concentrate on, okay, I'm in this situation, I'm in these projects, so I don't have a car right now. I'm on the bus. But I gotta appreciate at least I got a place to live. At least I got a
You
way to
got
get around,
transportation. If you're on
or
the
whatever.
bus, right?
Yeah. So yeah, that what you gotta
So,
do.
but see, I try to make light of it, but it's such a simple concept. If I can't have the steak, I'm grateful because I got bologna in the refrigerator. Because there are many
Yeah,
people who don't have that. Now,
at all.
eventually, yeah, they don't have that. So I've always been taught to be very grateful and humble myself, no matter how much money I had, no matter
But
what
when you
house I
look at
lived
it,
in.
everybody, all the great ones, everybody had to start from somewhere. A lot of people were given whatever the silver spoon. Sometimes people say, but then we don't know what went on behind closed doors. So you can't concentrate on that. You have to
You
get to a
can't
point in your
judge.
life. Huh? Yeah, you have to get to a point in your life where you realize I might not have a silver spoon, but I mean, I might not have a gold spoon, but I got a silver spoon. So whatever I got to do to get to where I need to be with this, I'm going to do it. You can't be
Absolutely.
angry at some. Yeah, you can't be angry at somebody because they had a better opportunity than you. It wasn't your opportunity. It wasn't meant for you.
Say that again.
Yeah. People think that opportunities are owed to them because of what somebody else has. That's not your opportunity. You have to be ready to take what is yours because guess what? When it's yours, it's gonna be easy. I'll be like, be easy, baby. It's gonna be easy. When it's for you, it's for you. I can't get mad at the next person because they ride in a Mercedes and I'm riding in Uber. Well, hell, they ride in a Mercedes, but I ain't got to worry about parking. I ain't got to worry about fixing my car. I ain't got to worry about whatever. So I got my own Mercedes.
You're looking at the benefits and the blessings, and that's all
Yes,
you have to do.
yes,
Is
and that's what it's
it
about.
ain't difficult at all. It ain't difficult at all to understand your blessings, and you're not going to get more until you're ready to receive more. So I give the simple example of the steak. If I'm complaining about the steak, then I'm not ready to get the whole cow.
Not only that, we
I'm
talk
not
about
ready
money.
for it.
You tell us about money. If you
Right.
can't deal with $100, how you think you're gonna deal with $1,000,000? And so
Absolutely.
there's a lot of
Absolutely.
people in situations in what they call a generational curse or whatever, and they'll go out and buy, I don't know what the new bags is, Fendi, Gucci, whosoever or whatever. And you know how you gonna go out and buy a Gucci bag and you trying to get yourself in a better situation? $100 or $300 you spend on the Gucci bag, baby, you could have put that to the side to elevate yourself from the place that you are. You have to be able to willing to sacrifice. And I'm gonna say that again. You have to be willing to sacrifice in order to elevate. You have to know that sometimes God's denial and his redirection is a chance for you to think about where you're going. So when you get to the elevated place, you gonna know. You know, don't don't always think about denial, and don't always think that God is denying you something, baby. He's not denying you, he's redirecting you for to another path, so that when you get to where you need to go, you understand and you appreciate where you were, because you don't want to go back, but you will. You got to humble yourself, like Kendrick Lamar say, be humble and sit down, so that when you get to the place that you are deserving of, when you get to that castle or whatever, it might, your castle might be a 3-bedroom home and you got two. You know what I'm saying? So when you be able to be humble, sit down, understand, enjoy, and appreciate what you have, so when you get to where you're going, and his redirection sends you to where you need to be, you can handle that.
Hey,
So
Keith, you sit back there. I'm dying to hear what you got to say. If you got anything you want to add.
Oh, I'm listening. You know what I mean? I'm just taking it all in. You know, I'm still on Paymaster. You know, we got
Oh
some
yeah.
stuff going on. So I'm
Oh yeah,
paying.
for the people who don't know, a paymaster is a attorney who handles
they got
all the payouts for individuals that involved in commodities and things of that nature, the sale of art, gold, diamonds, and
Right.
all those things. So
Right.
that's what a paymaster is. I don't
That's
want people
the word I
Right.
picked up on. That and the
Yeah.
controller. That's the only word I picked up on. The controller and the paymaster.
Yeah.
Hello.
We got a lot going on right now. So that's why I was just thinking about that. You know what I'm saying? It's funny when DeJoya was saying that as far as Paymaster. I'm like, yeah, we got a lot going on. But
yeah,
you know
we
that
gotta
we
get back. We gotta get back on point with it. So
Yeah, no, we gonna talk offline. I already handled whatever, if you saw it in the group chat. So I already handled all that. We gonna talk. But look,
okay.
um, I think what people need to understand, and this is the part that I think where the actual conditioning and training of the Western world, for the reasons that they did it, is God doesn't make things happen good or bad for you. He created the universe. If God created, if he controls good or bad, then we're like robots, right? If he controlled all that, then you can't manifest something. What happens is when these things happen, just like in the Bible, it talks about God was a jealous God. He's waiting to see what you choose. So I don't believe really in the sense that God gives us negative to make us stronger. I don't believe that he makes
I
situations
don't
not
believe
work
that
out
either.
to make us stronger.
I
It
don't
doesn't
believe
work
that
that
either.
way. You know what I'm saying? What'd you say?
I said I don't believe that either. I'm glad you
Yeah,
said
it doesn't even make sense logically. It
right.
but what happens is these things are going to happen automatically because people are going to be people. He didn't know, he knew Moses was going to do what he had to do and he couldn't come in the promised land, right? You
Right.
know, so everything is cause and effect from the perspective of choices. So everything that we're talking about is people aren't great, some of them, because they don't choose to be great. And choosing to be great is not,
Amen.
yeah, choosing to be great is not, I chose to be great today. Choosing to be great is what LeBron James does. He's there 5 hours before the practice starts. So he's there like 3 a.m. That's choosing to be great. Why is LeBron still doing what he's doing at 41? Because he's in the gym at 3 in the morning while everybody drooling. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, like there's no substitute for hard work. But it's not about hard work, it's about smart work too. Some people are happy because they're busy and they mistake being busy and active for being productive. You could be busy all day and don't accomplish a damn thing.
Oh yeah.
And and
Oh
then
yeah.
But then,
Amen. Amen.
hey,
Okay.
hey, hey. But here's it.
Amen.
Hey, look,
Amen.
look, look,
'Cause
look, look. But here's the
amen.
best part. If you tell somebody that, they like, well, you ain't acknowledging that I'm working hard. No, we didn't say you ain't working hard. We said you ain't accomplishing nothing. So which one do you want? Do you want to accomplish or you want to work hard and just slave all day, every day, and just seem like, oh, nothing's happening? Yeah, because you're not working right. Because you're
What my
not
mama
praying
say,
right.
working hard. Are you hard at working or are you working hard or hard at working?
Working hard, hard. And most
Know the
people,
difference.
at jobs is hardly working, and the employer know they hardly working. That's why they get the salary they get.
You sure
Talking
live
about they
right.
need a
You sure
raise.
live right.
You hardly working. What you mean? But overall, what I'm saying is, I agree with everything that's being said with you and DeJoy. Everything comes down to thought process and how you're built. And I'll finish this and give it back to you. There's a saying that I learned a long time ago, many, many years ago. When the dream is big enough, the facts don't count. I don't care how it looks. I don't care whether you failed 99 times. That 100th time might be the one that sets you up for life. That I don't. So when the dream is big enough, the facts don't count. And quite honestly, if you're committed to yourself first, once you get down the road and you put enough time in, and as we say, you got skin in the game, you're crazy if you turn back. You want to talk about torture? You want to talk about like just insanity? Is putting years and years and years into something and then quitting because it didn't whatever or whatever. I mean, that's just, to me, that is just insane. That type of stuff scares me. So I'll never quit. I'll always stay focused, but I'm never going to be stupid and just keep doing the same thing over and over again and hoping to get a different result.
Well, listen. Now,
Well
now that you
said.
say that,
Well
let me
said.
just say this. So there's a song that says that sometimes you have to encourage you. That's the first thing. If you can't encourage you and you don't encourage you, how do you expect things to fall in place and others to not just encourage you but to believe in you? And the second thing is always the universe is preparing you for something you can't handle right now.
Yes.
So when you get that concept, and there's a song out like that, so I'm not taking the credit for that, but I've learned to say that every day. I put it on my vision board at work. God is preparing me for something that I can't handle right now. But that don't mean that in the process of me gaining the blessings and breaking whatever barriers that I have faced, that I won't struggle. That's what preparation is. Preparation is struggle. Preparation is sacrifice. Preparation is humbling yourself. Preparation is being ready to change. We're not going to change overnight. It didn't take you overnight to get to where you were. You know what I'm saying? It didn't take your family or whatever was going on overnight for them to get to where they were. So it's not going to take you overnight to change and to make yourself better and to step into your purpose gracefully, to
Well,
break all the curses or the barriers or whatever you want to call it. It's going to take time.
yeah, no, and I'll say this too. And I said I was done, but you just said something that made me think of something too. Here's the other part of it. Once you get into your purpose and you really, really are moving in the direction you're moving, it gets harder. It's like all of a sudden you're like, why is it so hard to do whatever it is that you thought? And here's the thing, people on the live. Something is going to happen when you're on the journey and your purpose that's going to rock you to your soul, rock you to your core. I mean, you will get so, you're going to have to make a decision. And that fork in the road is what determines whether you're going to stay on that path long term. I'm talking rock you to your soul. Whether you thought something was going to work, whether whatever, it's going to rock you. And when you get that, whenever it hits you, if you can maneuver through that and navigate and stay on your path, even though it rocked you, you're closer to where you need to be. Most people, when they get rocked, they're gone. They're like, that's it. And that's what DeJoy was talking about, the test. That's the test. The test is, if you can't handle this, how you talking about you want to be this and that? Oh, no, you ain't ready. Go
Okay.
ahead.
Okay.
And that's it, man. And if you can learn how to get rocked and recover, man, you on your way to greatness, man.
Oh yeah. And that's the point that I wanted to. I'm emphasizing that for a reason. Is because if listen, this kind of perturbs me, and this is a thorn in my side. When people say they believe in God, when people say they believe in God, all right, if you truly believe and you know the existence of God is magnificent, is great, there's nothing greater. So when you talk about that road you're on, Keith, or that journey, and you get rocked, you can't believe if you quit. You can't believe if you get scared and turn around. You can't believe if you got self-doubt. You can't believe if you are doubting that God has it in your life for you. It's common sense to me. You really can't believe. Listen, I'm one of them people. I'm gonna ride it till the wheels fall off. And if something in my spirit tells me to make them wheels out of wood, I'm gonna make the wheels out of wood so I can continue on.
Yeah.
That's the kind of energy that you have to bring in every situation in your life. I'm
Yep.
never disappointed in me because of how I choose to live my life and my strong reverence for God and my belief. I'm disappointed in other people who I thought were better, if that makes sense.
Well, I mean, two things that I've learned, and a good friend taught me. Well, first of all, don't be a Peter. Don't be a Peter. If you know who you got riding with you and it get a little rocky, don't be a Peter and be like, hey, where you at? You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
don't be a Peter. Peter, when that boat got to rock and he was on the boat with the man himself. And he so when you are in life and you're going through these things and trying to fix your situations or whatever, don't be a Peter. It's gonna get rocky, but don't forget who you riding on the ship with. That's the first thing. And we forget that. And the second thing is, and this is something a good friend taught me, and I laugh about it all the time. When you a kid, and I spent a lot of time up north in New York, as a kid, and every day that Mr. Softy truck will come through. I don't care if you in the dead or asleep, you gonna hear Mr. Softy when he come through. Now it's been
Oh
some
yeah.
bad things in
Out here in
about
the
Mr.
Northeast,
Softy.
baby, Mr.
Yeah.
Softy,
Now,
baby. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it's some bad thing they say about Mr. Soft, but we ain't gonna talk about that back in the day now. But when he give you that ice cream and you running and you happy, you going back. I'm going back to Aunt Martha's. I got my ice cream and I dropped the ice cream, right? So my friend asked me, he say, do you want to go back and get the ice cream? Or do you chase that one ice cream cone that you dropped? Or do you chase that ice cream truck to go get all the ice cream, tell them you need another ice cream. So you gotta get to the point in life, and I never forgot that story, and I just thank him.
Yeah.
And I see him on the live right now. I never forgot that story. So there's times that I will drop things in my life, and drop things that were put before me because of my situations, because of family and whatever. And then I think about, do I want to go back and get that one piece of that one little bit of ice cream that's melted, even though it was good and I was breaking there, because you Mr. Softy dipped the ice cream in a little chocolate and in little nuts, and it was good, right? Or do I want to go back to the ice cream truck and tell him I need me a fresh new one, I got to start over? So sometimes, it doesn't help, it doesn't hurt for you to drop that what you done messed up and pick up and start over. But anytime you feel doubt, look, you can look back in your peripheral and see that on the floor and be like, I don't want that to happen again. So you have to get to that point in life where you want the whole ice cream truck, not what you done dropped, not what's in your past, but the whole ice cream truck. So that's where I am in my life right now. Cause baby, I hear the little bell ding and the bell go off at school. I think about Mr. Softy. I'm gonna go get the whole ice cream truck. That's that.
All right, all right. Hey, Aaron. Hey, Morgan. Glad to see you all. Hey, but I'm just saying, listen, strengthen your faith. Stop running around here saying that you have faith and you believe, and as soon as your world get turned upside down, you're ready to call it quits. As they say in the Bible, you're ready to curse God. Uh, the bottom line is that when people experience difficulty, that's when they should learn to rely on their faith more than they rely on themselves. All right, let me get back on subject. Now, so we know and we want to know whether or not it is a generational curse or myth, or are they real? So I'll say this: there's no scientific information that says that mystical curse are passed through anybody's bloodline. There's nothing to prove that. But the patterns are absolutely real. The patterns that these people see, they are absolutely real because they see it in their family members. And it's what they see and attribute that curse to. And sometimes they're well documented. You got the uncle that's an alcoholic. He got a track record of DUIs and being in jail. You got the person who's always fighting. He's always disciplined. So they're well documented. There are real psychological cycles such as trauma that people go through in their daily lives, and they attribute that to generational curse. Hey, Nikki, how are you? Now, there are also sociological cycles, and social cycles are things such as poverty, epigenetics, which is how stress can affect gene expressions. That's what epigenetics are. And there are also, excuse me, behavioral science cycles, which are learned habits. Those are your learned habits. So the curse is really a combination of the environment, the conditioning, and it sometimes can be biological. So the question would be, so why are these patterns so powerful and easily repeated? If we know that they aren't, it's not a curse. And I think we've proven that here tonight. And if you don't believe it, you can do your own research. You'll find that there's no such thing as a psychological or generational curse. There are only patterns that are repeated. And if that is the case, why are they so powerful and easily repeated? Now here come your lessons. Because it's a lesson for me as well, and I'm learning to take in more information and be more receptive to different opinions and different perspectives, which makes us all better people because we grow. The reason that they're so powerful is because they often feel like a curse because you grow up thinking it's normal. When you grow up in a household and everybody does it, the way that they deal with discipline is through violence. The way they deal with confrontations is through violence. The way they deal with women is abusive. You grow up thinking it's normal. So for you, it repeats itself automatically without your awareness. So subconsciously, you're already there. You aren't even aware that it's happening because it's been such a normalcy in your life. And when something becomes a normalcy, once you've rehearsed it and repeated it over and over, it becomes easy. And everybody know that we as humans, we don't like it hard. We like things easy. So, it affects us even without our awareness. Hey, Franny. Now, it affects our identity when we start to believe this is just who we are. So it starts to affect how we feel about ourselves. And on top of that, even though it affects us in that way or that manner, it can last for decades. It can last for decades until someone interrupts it. If you don't interrupt that behavior pattern, it's just passed on and on and on. Hence, that's why they call it a curse, because it has history within your family. But as we've already discussed, it is not a curse. It's just patterns that we've repeated over and over again in each and every generation in our homes. Now, but here's the truth most people miss. And I'm telling you, some people believe this. Hey, Pat, how are you? There are people who believe this. They believe that a generational curse is something they can't change and something that they're stuck with. Remember, I said it from the beginning. If you don't realize you got a problem, you ain't trying to fix it. It ain't until you realize you have a problem that you're going to try to seek help or try to fix it yourself. But we have to know it's something that we can fix. A generational curse, quote, quote, or a pattern of bad behavior, which is what it is. We can break it and we can fix it. It can only be broken when someone in the family becomes aware of the pattern, decides not to repeat it, and learn new behavior. I had this uncle, my Uncle Melvin, right? I mean, he was sharp, all the women loved him, had them real light brown eyes, not them green eyes, but them, and very handsome guy. But he always drank. I used to admire him because he could dress and because, he had the wavy hair, put that, whatever he put on him. And he was always one of those people who you could talk to, and he had what we call now swag. He had a lot of swag. But he drank almost every day. Matter of fact, I think he died at like 36. So once I saw that, I didn't want to be like him anymore. I still attributed some of his attributes that I learned. Hey, Levon, how are you? Big Cheese, how are you? Morgan, how are you? I looked at him and I took the good from it and I discarded the bad. Just to illustrate that if there are bad habits that any of your family members may have, if you choose not to repeat them, you don't have to. So that curse can be broken. If you identify that there's a problem, you become aware of that pattern, and you do not want to repeat it, and you learn new behaviors. You have to have something to replace it. All right? Now, people who change it, they take a different path, they start taking different types of actions, even when it's uncomfortable. Here go my word again. When it's uncomfortable, that's when it becomes a little bit more difficult. But that's the only way that that cycle is broken. Go ahead, DeJoya.
What you telling me to go ahead for? I was taking a drink of my third flu.
I
I'm
know.
just
I
letting
wanted to, oh, I thought you were drinking alcohol. I tried to interrupt you so you could put that cup down.
man, I'm trying to maintain y'all. But no, I mean, all of this is all of this is pretty informative. Even to me, because even though, I had a lot of information to offer on it, just to hear everybody else's take on, what is thought about their standpoint from generational curses and things like that, because I used to think that it was true. It
Yeah,
was
me
true
too.
until I started traveling, until I started putting myself around, different people in different circles from different parts of life and at different stages in their life. And what I mean is that different people that were in different economic backgrounds, and, different people that I never thought I'd meet somebody in the trade, in the actual commodities field, or, where I could talk about millions and thousands and hundreds, even though I have to draw the little number chart and they don't. But it's just the fact, that I'm able to learn, I'm able to pick up, I'm able to break a lot of things. There's nobody in my family that can tell you about that can tell you about commodities,
$100
or even
billion
know,
contract, or
yeah,
whatever SBLC is.
right, yeah, or even know, about transactions,
MTN or UK Guilt. You
right,
know what I'm saying?
and
Like,
yeah, things like that, and
The
overseas
gold bars
transactions
and
and stuff.
gold.
Yeah, and I actually
What's
seen a
up,
gold bar,
man?
y'all, for the first time in my life. Fix it, Jesus, fix it, Jesus, fix it, Jesus. Won't he do it? But I'm just
Everybody
saying that,
knows BS1s. They don't know about
yes,
IS and SLs. They don't know.
yes, and only because I was able to be put in a place and in a room with someone else that, was more, not just because they were more knowledgeable than me, but because they were willing to share it and I was willing to accept it. So when we talk about generational curses or all of these myths and things like that, you have to be able to accept what people are willing to share, what people are willing to give you. Sometimes we have to be accepting of that. Everything does not come in the form of currency. Everything does not come in the form of the physical. A lot of things are mental. A lot of things are spiritual. A lot of things are just
Amen.
there because the universe
yes.
puts it there.
Well,
Um,
and what you're saying is exactly what Mr. G is for both you and
yeah,
me. He
yeah,
he provides that stability and that clarity,
right.
and he came at the right time when both of us in our lives needed it. And I could say I wouldn't be where I'm at right now for a
Yeah,
lot of
without
these things I'm doing without Mr. G. And that's a fact.
yeah,
And he knows that. But the thing I'm saying is that that's what you need. You can't, money's going to come, right? However you're doing it. But a lot of people, they focus on the material when what we're saying is if you focus on the spiritual and have your goals and your purpose lined up, the money's gonna automatically come to you. You ain't gonna be able to stop it. You're gonna be like King Solomon or
Correct.
something like that. You know what I mean? Out this joint.
correct, correct.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So,
And a lot of these things too, everybody thinks that things are physical. It's not. It's a mental mind state. You
yep.
have to, you have to know that a lot of these concepts and stuff are of the mental. If you think poor, then you are poor. Your mind has the power to do a whole lot of things.
It's in the Bible, DeJoya. He said, "Beloved
Yeah,
above all things, I want you to prosper
correct,
and be in health, even as your soul
correct.
prospers." It's in the Bible.
Correct. So
Absolutely.
y'all, as I'm
Yes,
saying,
it
I think
is.
I'm the richest person in the world. I'm a millionaire because I know about Paymaster, that one word. So I think even if and I want
You
and I'm saying,
hilarious.
yeah, and I'm saying that to tell people it could be the smallest of things. All you need is the size of a mustard seed, and that's for anything. I apply that
Hey,
concept to anything. All I need is a little dot. I don't even need a dot. Yeah, I just need a
hey,
The
little tick.
size of a
hey, but
mustard
see here,
seed.
Yeah,
hey, Georgia. Here's the
yeah,
thing: is a lot of people got that faith until things get very, very difficult. That's the point I want to make on this live. Listen, I don't care what you go through in life. If you have faith And with all of these people profess to be faithful, I'm spiritual, and I ain't talking about that horse and pony show at the churches. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you as an individual. When don't nobody know what's in your heart but you and God. That's when your faith has to be shown to Him. You don't have to show it to me. You don't have to show it to your pastor. You don't have to show it to your spouse. You have to show it to Him. So when things get difficult, that's when the strongest people are tested. And if you can't weather the storm, then you're not prepared for the blessing. It's very simple. If you can't manage, as the Georgia said, $100, how are you going to handle $1 million? And people done said to me, oh man, that's easy. You know, it ain't easy. It's the same concept. It's the same understanding of how money works. It's the same understanding as if I spend X amount of dollars and I'm trying to stay above the threshold, that means I have a way to earn that back. It could be through dividends, it could be through investments, it can be through whatever else, instruments that we purchase, commodities that we buy and sell. It could be through a variety of different things, but you don't even have that mindset. A lot of people, once you get $1 million, you think that's a lot of money. And truly it's not, because you're going to change your lifestyle. And because you don't know how to manage, most people don't know how to manage, not speaking to anyone specifically, they don't know how to manage it, they're going to be broke. Because you're in an environment where everybody needs something. Listen, when you're in an environment and you've been taught, like most people, and believe, some people are selfish, but most people believe that they're supposed to help each other. God gives the hardest struggles to His strongest soldiers. He's absolutely right. But some people believe that they should help everybody. If you don't know how to manage trying to help everybody, you go broke, right? So you have to understand and have some kind of financial literacy so that you know how to make more money, so that you can help people without inconveniencing yourself. Because I guarantee you that at the end of the day, we're social creatures, but we all know that without us, if we're the provider, if we're not here, then nobody eats. Nobody eats, right? So self-preservation is the first law of nature. As simple as that. So now, let's go ahead and get back into it. So a curse can only be broken by someone who interrupts that pattern. That person has to identify that there is a pattern of bad behavior and they want to change it. What people call a generational curse is really unexamined patterns running on autopilot. Now listen to this. Once we see that pattern, it stops being a pattern. I'm sorry, it stops being a curse. You identify it as a pattern now. So you no longer look at it as a curse. And that's the first step, getting past that BS about it's a curse. It's spiritual. It's outside of your
Let me
control.
add this in now that you said that once you realize it, then you know that's there. But as far as you as the individual, you're making that choice to move on from that. That don't mean that them other people over there, Aunt Betty, Aunt
Oh,
Susan,
you about to get
don't.
into my
Okay.
other part
So
now.
yeah. So yeah, that don't mean that Aunt Betty, Aunt Susan, Aunt Keontae ain't gonna move on with you, because they gonna be looking at you like you're crazy. So
You
now
about to,
learn
you about to
learn
steal
to
my,
be.
you
Oh,
stealing my
sorry about
thunder.
that.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
sorry
let
about
you
that,
go
but
ahead.
I'm going on. So I'm going on. So yeah, so when you start changing and they get mad and they left back there, leave them. Cause like I said, everybody's purpose is not yours. Everybody's road is not yours. Those people that are meant to be with you, they will come right on with you because they want to be a part of the curse breaking too, or whatever the myth. They want to be a part of that too. Don't worry about them people that's hesitant. They got to think about, well, I ain't gonna walk across that fire because you know it look kind of hot. You tell me we gonna walk across the fire. Okay, when we gonna start? 1, 2, 3, let's go. You know, get with those people. Don't get with those people that have doubt and things like that because that will stop you right in your tracks. You gotta learn to leave and don't feel guilty.
That's
You
it.
know,
That's the
Aunt
key.
Kiki and all them, they want you to feel guilty. Well, if you knew, how come I didn't know? Well, hell, I was telling you, I was going through the fire, but you know what I'm saying? So you can't allow people's other people's procrastination and lack of
Doubt,
faith and things like that to hold you back.
doubt,
You gotta keep going. Huh?
doubt.
Yeah, that's the word I was trying to
That's
come up.
what it
Yeah, you
is.
right. That part. So don't allow that to hold you back. Don't allow it to pull it to stop your progress. Don't allow
Yeah,
it.
because they project that on you. And what a lot of people
Yeah.
do real quick is they project their lack
Oh
of
yeah.
their insecurities, their emotional instability, their lack of not following their dreams or even having a dream to begin with. And they project that baggage on you and try to make you think, well, why are you going to be successful? How are you going to do it? Well, such and such, this and such that. And for me, we going to keep it G rated. You know what I'm saying? But I'd be like, you know what? Blank all that. Like y'all can all keep that. Yeah, you're not. Nobody's gonna ever control me. Nobody can hold me back. Nobody can make me a prisoner in their life or their fantasy. You just can't
Right.
do it because I'm gonna cut you off. And it doesn't matter who you are. You could be the
Exactly.
immediate family and we
Yep.
tight. Guess what? If you negative and you trying to whatever, I got to cut you. Love is unconditional. I can love you from afar, but you blocking my blessings and what I'm called to do.
Yep.
And a
Amen.
lot, and you know, like I say, a lot of people be afraid to leave that. Let me tell you something. I'll leave everything and start all over again. I started with an empty house just to fill it back up with better things, you know. So you have to know when you building your house so that it's not a house built on sinking sand and the foundation is strong. If you got to leave some stuff behind and start over, get you some new materials, and remember he wrote the blueprint so he know which way you're going, you know. So
That's
don't deviate from the blueprint that God has written for you in terms of where your journey will go. It's okay. Leave all
Amen.
that and start over because he wouldn't give you the blueprint if he didn't already have plans. You know,
Hey, he
so
ain't. Hey, he
yeah,
ain't gonna take. He ain't gonna take you out of the shack and not give you no shelter. He's got something better prepared for you,
that
and
part.
you just have
Yeah.
to have that kind of belief. So when you listen, I learned that lesson. I built a home and all of this kind of stuff, and young in life, and I like, okay, I love that home, but when it was time to go. He
Time to
put it
go.
in my spirit. Hey, it's time to go because you got bigger and better things to
Do.
to do. So a lot of times we think that we're losing when it's just preparation and we're winning. So we
Well,
have to remember that.
I've learned when you talk about winning, and this is still what we're talking about. When you talking about winning, you might think the score is 0-0, but baby, when you look up there that final quarter, when you look at the final score, when you look at the final finish, when you get to the finish line, you know, when you're going and you got all these problems, the finish line looks real far. But if
Yep.
you just keep going, if you keep going and you keep climbing, baby, you'll look back there that starting the starting line will be way behind you. You know, then it's no such thing as the glass is half full or half empty because I'm about to be to the top right now. You know, so just because you don't see the score or just because you don't think things are measuring up to where you think you should be, just keep your eyes in front of you. Don't look back. Don't keep looking at the scoreboard because you not really the one keeping score. You know, I just want y'all to know that. So,
And
you
it
know,
really
just
it doesn't matter
right,
your perspective because you aren't
right.
in control of your destination. So
You're
it
not
doesn't matter what you think or how you feel. If you've
right.
got the spiritual awareness and the faith in what you're trying to accomplish, and you, as I said, if you believe, like all of these people say, I believe. Nah, you really don't believe, because if you did, what do you say? Cast all your worries unto me. You don't have to worry about anything. I'm glad I got that lesson early in life, because I really don't care. I'm gonna keep it G-rated too, Keith, because I really don't give a what
Uh-uh.
about that. You know what I'm saying? Especially when someone else is trying to direct traffic, and I've already got the blueprint from the grand architect, and I know you don't have it because I can observe your habits and see that you don't live that way. So when you're trying to run, I'm like you. I can easily cut you off. I can shake your hand and say, "Hey, never see you again," and
Well,
I'm a still love
y'all
you.
know what my
You know?
cutoff game is like. We done already talked about that. So
Yeah.
you don't go there.
We not
But
talking
check
about
this.
pots and pans right now. You know what I'm saying? We not
Okay,
gonna go
I
there.
know. I'm just
Don't get
saying, y'all
on
know.
that
I
now.
listen. You know, I cut you out my whole life. I don't care who it is. If it's
You
me,
Oh
and
yeah.
don't mess with one of my friends. I cut you out of there too. Look,
Hey, look.
no, cause he said this to you. So look, I take you out
the
my phone out
Joya
my whole life.
is an equal opportunity cutter. Yeah,
That part. And
And look,
don't take it
and look,
personal.
and look. I was taught to walk on both sides of the street, so I'm good.
Yeah.
We can do it either way. You know what I'm saying? So I say all that because it's easy when you have faith. Those things that concern most people don't concern you. You don't care about what somebody thinks. You don't care about what people say. And you've heard me plenty, many times on here. I don't care what you say, as long as you ain't threatening and trying to put your hand. Now we got to go into something different, and I'm prepared for all of that. So I believe that
Oh,
when
heaven.
you have that kind of attitude, and it comes from the wisdom of God, that puts you in a position where, look, I got it, fellas. I understand what this is about. You don't understand yet. So I'm not really worried about the things that you're concerned with. I'm concerned with the mission at hand. I'm concerned with accomplishing things, because my creator has already said that everything that you want, I will give to you. All you got to do is show that you have faith in me. That's it. He didn't say show that you have faith in yourself. He said, ye of little faith. We're talking about him, faith in him, not faith in yourself. You have to have belief in yourself. Faith is for the higher power. All right, let's get back. So anyway, that generational curse, once you start accepting that it's not a curse and it's habit, it becomes a decision point at that time. You start making decisions because you're no longer concerned with the fact that I'm under a curse. I can't change anything. This is the way I am. The reason that those habits are hard to break, are difficult to break, is because you're not just changing that habit. You're going against years and sometimes decades of conditioning, identity, because what you do is what you become. What you do repetitively is who you become. So you're not only going against that that habit, you're going against the conditioning, the identity, and, as DeJoya said, the environment. And you're doing it all at once. Most patterns start in childhood. You've watched how adults handle stress. You've watched how they handle money. You've watched how they handle love and conflict. So when you've seen this repetitively, your brain registers this behavior as being normal. Or you feel this is how life is supposed to work. That's why when you have people in abusive, and don't get me wrong, my heart goes out to anybody, particularly innocents, people who are being taken advantage of are in abusive relationship. I really gotta, I really got something to say and do when I meet people who are taking advantage of people. And 9 times out of 10 is that no reason at all. It's learned behavior and it's all that they know. So you learn that this is how life works. When you see how they handle uh, their conflicts, conflicts, how they handle money, love, and all of their stress. So by the time we're grown, those patterns are automatic and not conscious. They're automatic. Those patterns that we have. It's not just what we do, it becomes who we believe we are. Example, men in my family don't express emotions. They just don't know how to talk. They've been deprived and don't know how to talk, and they feel like they're weak if they get emotional and all that. So men in my family, they don't express their emotions. We always struggle financially. That ain't nothing new. We always struggle. Man, I'm not selling for none of that crap. Yeah, they may have, but I guarantee you I ain't. Or when we get into relationships, they don't ever last in my family. Come on, man. We got to be better than that. That don't even sound right. The equation does not even add up. The men in my family don't show their emotions. Yeah, that's because there's a habit that nobody's broken. So be the one to step up and break that habit. So when we attempt to break the pattern, which is difficult, I'm not saying it's easy. It can feel like if I change things, will I still be me? Will I still be the same person? Because this is all I've learned to do. That internal resistance is very, very powerful. You're battling with yourself on the inside. You want to change because you don't like the behavior. You don't like to see your family members in those situations. So you're battling with those changes, and that resistance becomes very powerful. The other thing is, even when we want to change, now here you go. Here's the problem most people are going to have. But you got to just grow a spine, a backbone. Even when we want to change, that behavior is still reinforced by family members. So even if you change, your environment does not. That don't mean that you can't keep on keeping on and keep on trucking. Just understand your environment has not changed. Those same people, your family telling you you've changed. I've heard that before. Not necessarily from my family member, but I've heard it before. You've changed. And yes, I have. And I'm going to continue to. Now what? What's the next move? Yes, you're supposed to change. That constitutes growth. Even your friends may pull you back into old habits. So the same triggers exist. The same triggers that you're trying to get out of, they exist. And as long as you're in the environment, they will exist. You're trying to grow while surrounded by people who created the patterns. You're around the people who created those patterns. So it is very difficult. Now, here's the big one. This is why people don't want you to change. That's because there's comfort in familiar pain. If they're familiar with it, even though it's very unhealthy and the patterns are unhealthy and everybody knows it, the patterns feel predictable. They know what's going to happen. They're familiar, and they're safe in a strange way. People don't like change, man. People don't like it. Not until you become very, very strong and you understand some things about life, then you don't have any problem changing because you know it's for your betterment. The unknown feels riskier than the known, even if it's harmful. A lot of this behavior is emotionally rooted. It is tied to a deeper issue such as trauma, fear of rejection, fear of failure or success, or a need for approval. So when we try to break these habits and these patterns, we're not just changing our behavior, we're triggering a deeper emotional response. Now, I'm getting ready to close out. So to break generational curse, it takes consistency and not just awareness. Awareness is just the first step. You have to be consistent. But breaking generational curse requires repetition, discipline, catching yourself in real time, and choosing differently over and over and over again. One decision to do right does not change the cycle. Consistency changes the cycle. So when you're trying to change, you have to be consistent in that effort that you're putting forth. All right, thank you all for the gifts and the comments. We love all of you all. Let me go ahead. In conclusion, breaking a generational curse is hard. We know it's hard. You're in the same environment. You're dealing with the same people. And you're the only one battling with that internally. It's hard because you're fighting your programming. You've been programmed. You're fighting your environment. You're fighting your emotions. And you're fighting your identity all at once. But here's the good news. Here is the good news. When we talk about generational curse, the fact that you see it, the fact that you observe the fact that there's something wrong, the fact that you recognize that that behavior is unacceptable and is not conducive to a good life, it means you're already ahead of the game. Because it passed through many generations who did absolutely nothing about it. So even though you see it, you recognize that that curse or that habit creates a lot of negativity and puts you on the path of destruction. Being aware of it alone does not change it. What changes is consistency. And with consistency and awareness, you can begin to change that behavior. All right. Thank you all for joining us. We had quite a few of you all here. Thanks for the comment. I hadn't had a chance to read them all, but I will. We got to talking and got sidetracked, but y'all take care of yourselves. We'll see you all next Wednesday. So, au revoir, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen, and goodbye. We'll see you all next Wednesday. Take care.